What's up, guys? It's TRT77, and I'm bringing you my week 1 match of ISL Season 7. I know I said ISL Season 6 in the last video in the draft analysis, but numbers and me just don't go along, guys. I just never get numbers right. Ironic that I'm playing Pokemon, but this week we take on Scamp, and Scamp is a really good player. He's been ISL top div for a very long time. I'm pretty sure he's top div in a few other leagues too. I think we have played once, but I'm not sure. I think we played when I was memeing, or was it TBA 4? I'm not sure exactly, but he did beat me on that occasion. This time around, we have got, in my opinion, actually quite a good matchup, because I feel like he does struggle to offensively check a lot of our mons with this matchup. Obviously, my team should be in front of you. The base should be in front of you, and his team is there as well. He has Coco, Rune, Lucario, Clovitzer, Runerigus, Aeromega, Serp, Raichu, Komo-o, and Arbok. Now, looking at his team first up, the first thing I noticed, first thing anybody who was helping me build also noticed, was naturally his only fairy resist is Arbok. It's also, in my opinion at least, it's quite a difficult mon to bring to a lot of games, especially considering I have a Nidoking. While it does get like a niche physical set, I'm not super expecting to see it. I do expect that he brings Rune here as well as Clovitzer, because I think both of them are great in this matchup. Rune does cause me a few issues, but I'm pretty sure I can handle it between Zarude and Feeny and Mew. It should be enough, honestly, but because of the positioning I can get through and everything. Setup we can beat with Feeny if we trick it, and also setup loses to Zarude. We do have a Choppleberry Zarude this week, with Darkest Lariat, Power Whip, U-Turn, and Jungle Healing. Jungle Healing is there just in case he brings Runerigus, and Runerigus will-o-wisps us. And also it's just decent longevity. I mean, it's obviously not like Synthesis where you get 50%, but it's decent longevity. The other mons I have here, I do have a Choice Scarf Feeny this week. This was Clay's suggestion. Shout out Clay for helping on this builder. Critic helped as well. Feeny really does well here in conjecture with Barraskewda and Mew. The whole point of his team is, the other thing is also that he does not have a dark type, and his psychic resist, other than Roniklus, his only psychic resist is Raichu. And the plan is to basically overwhelm Roniklus overall, and eventually it's going to get to a point where it's constantly coming in and it's constantly going to give me enough free turns. And Aeromega is obviously a huge concern. It's always going to be a huge concern. There's not much we can do about it, but that's why we have a bulky Mew this week. And the whole point is, irrespective, we can always take a hit with Mew, and we can paralyze it. I have brought Paraspam and Misty Terrain. You can roast me if you want in the comment section, but I still stand by what I said during BDL and UPA. You control terrain turns when you have a Tapu Fini. It's not the same as having a Rillaboom or a Coco. It's a lot easier to control your Misty Terrain turns, and when it comes to Tapu Fini, and that's why I'm not too concerned. I do have T-Wave on Klefki. Klefki is super Spreadef because Serp can snowball and get very annoying for my team. A Spike is amazing against his team overall. Like he's kind of relying on either Arrow or Serp to defog. Or Coco is also a really good defogger, but I'm assuming that Coco being a defogger here makes less sense because you're going to start letting in Nidoking a lot. And outside that, we have a Choice Band Barraskewda. Kind of straightforward here. It revenge kills a lot on this team. Little bit of chip and it'll kill bulky Arrow. It really does a number, just flip turning around. Komo-o is the one mon that can probably take hits from it, but also does not really want to take close combats too much, especially if I get the passive chip with spikes or basically any of my other mons. I should be fine, especially considering Komo-o is probably going to be his, if he brings it, that is, would be a switch into Zarude and just U-turning in each time, either getting Feeny in, Mew in, Barraskewda. I'm not super expecting Komo-o in this matchup, considering just like most of my team just literally does not care about fighting or Dragon Stab. Komo-o is kind of just really out of place. That's one mon I pretty confidently can say probably won't come, but even if it does, we've got enough and more counterplay to it. We do have, I do expect to probably see Lucario here, because I know Scamp loves his late game sweepers. Like I remember there was a period where he ran Dragonite a lot with the late game sweeps, and I'm assuming Lucario, if it comes, will either be Choice Band or Life Orb, or it'll probably be the E-Speed set, because he does have a speed gap from 90 to 110, which is something I have exploited here a bit. But also in general, I feel like he's got like that bit of priority is really good for his team, and it's really good for cleaning. I'm 100% expecting Aero Mega. It's such a pain to always deal with. It's never easy to deal with Mega Aerodactyl. Outside of that, we do have Klefki actually quite admirably deals with Raichu Alola as well. If all goes sideways, Klefki deals with it quite well. Play Rough actually is a clean 2-hit KO on Alola and Raichu. Other than that, Nidoking standard set, except it's actually a modest set with a lot of bulk investment, because while I need Nidoking to check Tapu Koko, as always, it's always a great answer. Nido is always such a good answer to Tapu Koko. I have to be wary, one, of Bandit Koko. I have to be wary of physical Life Orb mixed or Boots mixed. I'm expecting Boots, to be honest. Boots is probably his best set here, because it doesn't get worn down easily, and it just forces me to preserve Nidoking repeatedly. And the other thing is, I did have Sub on the set, but I took it out because I just feel like Runikless just comes in on me too easy. If it's Spadef, it's just gonna sit on me, and there's no point. Like, Clay pointed this out as well while we were building, and weakening one of my own checks to Koko just by constantly clicking Sub was just not the highest percentage play. Mew is a future port set. This is a Mew, not a Blissey. I promise, this is a Mew, not a Blissey. Even though that's a bloody that's 100% a Blissey move pool outside of future sight. You replace that future sight with that stars, and that's a Blissey. But Mew future porting here is just so good, because his lack of psychic resist, and then being able to go into Barraskewda, Feeny or Zarude just each time, it's such a good mon. And Mew, like, with this, I'm hoping the light screen goes up with Klefki, because that neuters Clawitzer, because otherwise Clawitzer is also a pain, although it's kind of slow. So I mean I have to worry about Scarf Clawitzer, but I think we should be fine between Zarude and Feeny. Zarude being Choppleberry helps a lot of things, especially with Focus Blast on Runikless as well. But that's gonna be it from me, guys. Sorry for a little bit of an extended team builder, but now I'm just gonna jump into the game, guys. Now jumping into the game, guys, as you can see, I am super surprised at some of his team selection decisions here. I'm surprised to not see Rune, and I'm also maybe a little bit surprised to not see Raichu. I think maybe, though, like, honestly, we had enough priority to kill Raichu, so that kind of made sense. We do see the Arbok, which, famous last words, I said in the team builder I was not expecting to see, but honestly, it does kind of make sense. I mean, his whole team kind of falls over to Moonblast if he doesn't have Arbok. The question on preview here for me is quite clear. Do I think this is an AV Arbok? Or more likely either, like, I really doubt he brings Glare here against the Misty Terrain team, like, and especially with me having a status absorber with Zarude being technically, jungle healing and stuff. Or it could just be the regular coil set, so we're gonna have to scout that. Koko we do see, Serp we do see. We have to scout out what items are on which. Clawitzer is a problem, and it's something I think we just have to deal with at the end of the day. And we do see the Mega Arrow. So now just starting the game up, guys. We choose to lead Mew, and he does lead the Clawitzer. For me, first up, I was just like, I wanted to lead Mew mainly because I wanted to keep him guessing, make him do the scout per se. And if he led Koko, we'd probably pretty much know at least what set Koko is running based on either Volt Switch or U-turn damage or whatever it chooses to go for. We usually just get a feel for what Koko is. And I'm assuming he would not, like, with the threat of Will-O-Wisp, with the threat of status or threat of setup, he doesn't want to switch in something else. So I'm assuming that's why he led Clawitzer here, because Specs, Modest, Dark Pulse does an insane amount. Even kills, I think we're too Spadef for it to kill, but it still does an insane amount. So here I am going to make the smart play and go into Klefki. Super Spadef should take the hits pretty easily. That first Water Pulse showed me that he is definitely not Specs. That's definitely not Specs damage. But we do get up the right screen here because I'm just like, fine, you know what? At least we can mitigate the early game. And he does switch moves to flip turn, so I am now assuming that he is most certainly not... he might be a boosting item, but I'm not sure what his item is. But based on those Water Pulse rolls and the Flip Turn roll, he doesn't seem to be like Mystic Water or anything like that. He could be Expert Belt perhaps. Serp does come out, and we do see that Serp is leftovers. Here I'm going to get the T-Wave off if he lets me, and he does, and we do quite easily take the Leaf Storm. Now that it's T-Waved, I think Serp is no longer much of a threat. I'm just going to go for a little bit of chip on it, worst case. He does reveal the Defog. I'm not going to waste too much time. I'm just going to get a screen backup. If he wants to kill me, he can kill me. And he does. And Klefki is our first Mon this season to go down. Here I'm just going to go into Nidoking, because one, he has to scout what item I am. He doesn't know what set I am. Honestly, if I'm him at this point, I just sack the Superior, because there's no real... You're not going to get to +4 again with the rest of this team, and it's not going to have that much of an impact on the overall game. So I'm going to keep it simple early on. I don't want to predict too much. I'm going to go for the Sludge Wave, and Nidoking, that crit did not matter in any universe. Nidoking does take out Superior. Now he goes into Mega Arrow, and I have a decision to make. I don't want to let Mega Arrow D-Dance. In case he's extra bulky, I'm not sure the Aqua Jet will kill from full. And honestly, I don't think he's expecting me to stay in here, considering he still has a full health Coco. And perhaps switching out is wiser here, but I just feel I'm a little bit pressured by the fact that this thing came out so early. I was not expecting him to go into this super early. I honestly thought he'd go back into Clawitzer, or he'd maybe threaten me with Lucario or such. But honestly, looking back, that was kind of a silly thing, because neither of them would have OHKO'd Nidoking, especially with the light screen up. So here I'm gonna click the T-Bolt as he clicks Stealth Rocks, and Jesus, he is bulky. He is max HP Mega Aerodactyl, so that's probably his pseudo Nidoking check, I would say. But here I had a decision. I clicked Sludge Wave when I was during the game. I clicked Sludge Wave for a while, and then I was like, no, this is a bad idea. He's already gotten what he needed out of the turn. He's probably going to Roost, and Sludge Wave is going to give him a free attack right after that. If I Earth Power and then he attacks me, I'm dead. I'm losing my Coco answer for absolutely nothing. And the only outcome where I win this is if he clicks Dual Wing Beat. So, in essence, there's a 25% chance that I get the turn I want. And there's a whole load of turns I don't want. So I just decide, I'm out. Peace. I'm going into Mew. Mew can take any hit admirably. And since he's out Stealth Rock, I'm going to assume that he does not have the coverage to hit Mew. If he does have Crunch, so be it. I will get the T-Wave off. And that's what I decided to go for here. I mean, here he's going to Roost off on my switch. Makes sense. I'm just going to get the T-Wave off as he goes hard Coco, which is a good play on his part. I guess it was a relatively straightforward play, but I don't know if I would have ever really made that play. Irrespective here, I see no reason to not get up a Future Sight, and again, massive damage of the U-turn. He is 100% Choice Band Coco. So now we have the information that he's Choice Band Coco. Great info, absolutely monstrous. I absolutely love the fact that we've got this. And I have a Future Sight up, and Light Screen is still up, so I'm not too worried about the Claw. It's not Specs, so it's not worrying me. And he does Flip Turn out, and we just get off back to full. Again here, I'm just going to, if he's going to Wild Charge, I just want to Soft Boil and let him take the giant Future Sight coming in his way. But he does click Toxic, and the problem with this is, honestly, I didn't make sense of that play. I don't know why he clicked Toxic there, because I could have easily just gone Nidoking. But I just chose to stay in because, one, I had the Light Screen still up. Two, I could Soft Boil and there's an incoming Future Sight. But now I know he's locked into Toxic, for sure. Like, there's no way otherwise that he would get that U-turn roll earlier. So I'm just going to click Future Sight again. And this is actually quite a promising early game. As he goes into Arbok here, we do get off the Future Sight. I'm kind of curious to see what he does here, as he does click the coil. But here, I'm going to teleport out. I'm going to go hard into Nidoking. I'm not too worried. The thing is, he doesn't know we're slow. And he could be slow himself, honestly, which is something that, I mean, like, Arbok is base 80 speed. It's fast, but, like, I'm not, like, especially on a setup set, I don't know how much speed you're running with this Mon. And with the incoming Future Sight, I'm not too worried. I double back into Mew because, one, I really did not want to, I could have made the Thunderbolt play there, but I think it was too risky to just stay in there and get Earthquaked in my face when Coco still exists. Like, I know Coco is low, but I just don't want to take that risk yet till it's dead. And the future sight's coming to hit anyway. I'm not too concerned. And I can just soft boil up with Mew. We do get a nice bit of chip off on Mega Arrow. He has to switch out. He can't get T-waved. But at the same time here, I make the double into Finny. Now, why did I make the double into Finny there? Honestly, if he roosted there, or if he went Coco there, I know he's choice banned. I know we outspeed. And I know that for a fact that worst case, like, I get a hit off on something. And even if it's Clawitzer, that's damage dealt. So I thought Feeny was the most positive play to make here. And we do get our terrain up because we switched in second because Mew was slower than Mega Aerodactyl. So he doesn't know that we're scarfed, and we do take out the Coco here with the Moonblast. Obviously now him knowing that we're scarfed, he does get the free switch in into Arbok. Here I make a little bit of a harsh play because I just devalued Nidoking a little bit too much because Coco is dead, and he does get the Earthquake off, which does massive damage. Which I'm actually quite surprised because like, this is a bulky-ish Nidoking at least. Like, I didn't think it would do that much. From like base 95 attack. But I'm assuming he's adamant, and that's why he's probably just switched out the first time because he knows he's slower maybe. Here I make a decision. I've devalued Nidoking. Nidoking is good, but it's not gonna ruffle any feathers beyond a point here. He needs to the onus is on him to kill Nidoking. So if I make the T-Bolt play here and Arbok doesn't die, I can go Zarude and kill it. I can go Skewda and kill it. If he goes and he doesn't have a switch into Skewda really, because I can just click Flip Turn and we're still fine and dandy. But if he does go Arrow here as I click Earth Power, I let him back into the game. Because then I'm again, the momentum's back with him. So I decided this is no-brainer here. This is not even a 50-50 prediction for me. This is always going to be me clicking Thunderbolt. And Nidoking takes out Mega Aerodactyl for its second kill of the game. We're actually sitting pretty right now at 5-3, but I'm not going to underestimate the situation. Until that Arbok is dead, this game is still very much in the balance because Lucario is the way he's holding it back, it just looks like it's a 100% sweeper set. Whether it's Banded, Life Orb, whether it's SD, we'll have to see. But right now I know for a fact that I won't give Lucario a free turn. No matter what, won't give Lucario a free turn. And I still have, like, I have Mew at 76, which is decent enough to take any hit really, especially with how defensive it is. I have Feeny at 88, which will be 76 after rocks. We should be fine, especially with Skewda at 100 as well. Zarude at 100 with Choppleberry intact. I'm not too worried at this point, but I'm still worried about that Arbok because it can do damage. Here, with Clawitzer in front of me, I'm just going to hit it with a T-Bolt. I see no reason not to. It's a roll here to kill, I think, if he's not max HP. If he's max HP, I think he always lives, but either way, I'm just going for the damage here. And Nidoking gets a huge chunk off as he reveals his item is Citrus Berry. That's not something I saw coming. I assume that was for the 2-hit KO roll on Feeny. If suppose I was Specs Feeny or such, that would have been that made a lot of sense, to be honest. But I still think Specs is probably still a better play for him overall. But that does make a lot of sense in overall game prep. I'm just going to go Zarude here and I'm going to click Power Whip. Irrespective, Power Whip does a lot to Arbok. Even after Intimidate, Power Whip into Darkest Lariat does a decent chunk of cheddar, and he needs to keep that thing healthy. And he is not Shed Skin, which is important to note. He is Intimidate, not Shed Skin, so the rest set still gives me 2 turns. Even if he's Rest Stock, he's revealed Earthquake. I'm 100% sure he needs Gunk Shot. So I'm not too concerned with the Arbok set at this moment in time. At least I'm not too concerned going Zarude at this moment in time. And here I am just going to click the Power Whip, and Zarude picks up a kill as Clawitzer goes down. Now he goes hard into Arbok. One thing I miscalculated is I forgot to calculate the Intimidate when I was calculating Darkest Lariat 2-hit KOing. Which perhaps was a mistake, but I'll be honest, with the fact that Flip Turn was a roll on Liquidation was a roll on Barraskewda, and I didn't want to lock into CC and just give Arbok free turns. And I couldn't obviously lock into one move with 2 resists on the field. I could not lock into one move with Feeny. I thought this was probably my only way of really killing Clawitzer there. And he does go into Arbok here. Here, I'm just going to click Darkest Lariat first to gauge damage as he does click the coil. Again, we don't care because Darkest Lariat ignores defense boosts. But looking at that damage, if we were at neutral, we would have probably 2-hit KO'd. So I'm going to switch out Zarude here, and I have the freest switch into Mew. I do get, obviously, I can U-turn out because I'm faster. I go into Mew here as he does click the gunk shot, which does a lot, but he is not max attack. And that's worth noticing, because worth noting, apologies. Because I was kind of sacking here, because if we sack there, Darkest Lariat 100% killed when we came back in after Black Sludge. So, I wasn't too worried about that. Irrespective, or if it didn't kill, Barraskewda just cleaned at that point. So, I'm just gonna get the future sight up. No, just get the insurance up. What's the point not doing it? We are faster. He does coil again. And here, I'm just going to click the soft boil. I'm not too concerned. I mean, yes, I'm going to lose my Mew probably if he lands the gunk shot, which he does, as Mew does go down. And here, I'm just going to go back into Zarude once again. Hindsight, maybe I could have just gone into Barraskewda and clicked flip turn here. But Power Whip at neutral, 2-hit KOs Lucario. Because that's, like, it's Adamant Zarude. Lucario is just not that, like, it's pretty frail. And it's not really taking a Power Whip. So, it 2-hit KOs Lucario on the switch, and even if, I'm not expecting Zarude to live this gunk shot. Honestly, if he misses the gunk shot, that actually might be worse for us, but even at +2, like, since we're 2-hit KOing with Power Whip, not too concerned, because worst case, we will be able to still win the game. Provided, like, if he's Life Orb, he could potentially take 2 Mons, but he'll die to recoil. So I'm not too... I'm pretty sure at this point we should have the game in the bag. Here, I'm going to go for the Darkest Lariat. We need like a max roll to kill. And he does take out Zarude, but Arbok goes down to the future side. And now it's 2v1. He goes Lucario, I go Skewda. So with Zarude gone, Arbok gone, it's 2v1. Quite clearly this has to be either Banded or E-Speed. The thing is, for me, I had to make a play here. Do I click Liquidation? Do I click CC? Now, Liquidation is a good roll to kill. CC is just murking this thing. If he is Choppleberry, the roll is in his favor to live the CC. But at the same time, if he is Choppleberry, he is non-boosting item. Even at +2, he does not kill Tapu Fini. And he has to E-Speed, because both my Mons remaining are faster than him. And if he is Scarf here, he has to lock into a non-steal move to kill Barraskewda. And then he has to lock it, and that can't, and then like CC or whatever he clicks cannot then kill Fini. So while he could be Thunderbolt, Scarf Thunderbolt or something as such, I still think that my onus is here. This is the turn. I'm going to just click my Close Combat. We do click the Close Combat, and he does live on 1. And he does get off the SD. Here first for like 1 second I freaked out because I'm an idiot and I had +2 and Choice Band at the damage calc, which fun fact I have done before and choked a game too because of how silly I am sometimes. But here Skewda is going to go down, Fini is going to come in, and Fini is going to clean, provided we do not get crit on the E-Speed. So here you're going to see he's going to E-Speed, and that is the end of Barraskewda. And it now comes down, as often does on this channel, to Tapu Fini. Now, terrain up, Fini in. He's gonna click the E-Speed. If he crits, GG, that's game. Nothing we can do about it. But if not, we just win the game right here, right now. He clicks the E-Speed and he doesn't crit. And Fini is gonna claim its second kill as we take the 1-0 victory over the Dublin Drifloons and Scamp. GG's to Scamp. Hell of a game. I did not think, like, with this matchup, honestly, yes, he had offensive threats that threatened me out of the wazoo, but, like, the overwhelming edge was on my side, I feel like, in this matchup, and he really pushed this to the very end. I do feel like I could have played this a little bit riskier in positions, and I could have made a little bit more prediction-based moves, certain parts, but I do think overall getting the dub in the end matters, especially in a game that's this close. I do feel there's a couple of turns I definitely, like, I could have, I think future sighting first with Mew was always the right decision, but I do think maybe a soft boiling twice with Mew would have been fine. I could have done that as well, but I just didn't want to waste time and let Arbok get the Black Sludge recovery and be a problem. And at that point, you know, obviously, yes, I could just go Fini and click Water Move and be fine, but still, like, missing Hydro is an option. I didn't want to make those risky plays. Hell of a game to Scamp, though. GG's, my guy. But again, once again, I'm going to reiterate to anyone who's following the series, I will not likely be consistent with these uploads. This game happened on Sunday night where I happened to be free, so I got some time to record this. But I will likely not be consistent with these uploads, or honestly with my games going forward, especially considering my IRL schedule. But that's going to be it from me, guys. This is TRT77, and this is me signing off.